Hello, friends and lovers. Yes, it has finally happened. We have gotten the official announcement date of Hades 2. It is coming to Switch 1, Switch 2, and PC on September 25th of 2025. I honestly can't believe it. I know we all said, including myself, that it was coming any second now around the corner, but it just feels so strange for it to actually be real and for us to actually get an announcement date. By the way, check out this beautiful trailer. It is absolutely stunning and amazing. You really got to see it for yourself. Anyway, let's play a little bit of Hades 2 and kind of talk about some different things here, but that's the meat of the video. It's just the announcement date, you know, September 25th. Mark your calendars. All right, I'm just going to do a cheeky little aspect of Medea run while we talk about Hades 2 and the launch, and I got a few topics for us to discuss. Some of this info may have been kind of covered in that recent video where I talked about potential release dates in the future, but, you know, we kind of got to try to keep all this stuff in one place if we can. Anyway, so here's the different topics I got. What to expect for 1.0 of the game, you know, when to expect potential other console releases, what I got planned for my channels here. I also got questions for y'all in regards to that, and a couple other small topics, like do we think there will be DLCs or updates, and kind of the history behind that if we can figure that out. But anyway, why don't we kind of start with, you know, what to expect in version 1.0 of the game. I mean, first and foremost, it's just going to be a lot more story. I mean, I couldn't really tell you, like, how much more story exactly or anything like that, but it feels like there's just not really that much covered here in Hades 2 in early access right now. There's just, like, a lot of, I guess you could describe it as, like, loose ends, you know? They really just don't really broach a lot of topics around the end-all, be-all of the game right now. We really just have no clue where any of this is going right now, I would argue. You know, we all have our own little guesses and things like that, but yeah, they kind of just don't really say, you know? When you win a run, if in case you don't know, it just kind of ends, and that's it. You know, we don't really know where it's going at all. It's interesting like that. So it's not surprising either, because in Hades 1, you know, we didn't have any of the discussions with Hades after winning a run until 1.0, basically, and you never saw Greece until after 1.0 either, for that matter, too. So you didn't even know that we were going to Greece prior to version 1.0 of the game, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Forgot to turn on Shadow. I'm supposed to have Shadow on. Come on, no! I flubbed it. But nevertheless, I guess we all did kind of assume there would be a lot more story in Hades 1, but we didn't know there was going to be an epilogue or how much there was going to be there, but there turns out there was just a lot more. So we definitely have some expectations here on how this is going to work. No doubt. I like the money here. So I think the expectation is we're probably going to get, you know, yes, a lot more story, but we're also probably going to get something like an epilogue and some new stuff. Like I said, the Steam achievements have been leaked, and it seems like there's a hint at something in there. I don't want to say what it is in case you don't want to see it. You'll have to check out the other video in case you don't want to get spoiled for some of this stuff. But yeah, there's definitely hints of something there, despite in the roadmap saying they have no plans for new encounters or new boons or new gods or anything of that nature, you know? They basically said that there's no plans for adding additional, like, content probably outside the story. But, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that they've kind of surprised us, and, you know, they basically decided that they just wanted to do some more there, you know? They wanted to do more than they promised. Supergiant's pretty good at doing the whole under-promise, over-deliver thing, I would say. So after that, I mean, a lot of people keep asking, you know, when is it going to come to the other consoles? All I can really tell you is that it took Hades 1 a full year to come to the other consoles after version 1.0, sorry. So Hades 1 came out in September of 2020. It didn't launch on Xbox and PlayStation until, I think it might have been August of 2021. So it's essentially a full year, you know? I don't really know if that's what's going to happen for Hades 2. They have made no announcements. In fact, if anything, they've only rebuked, is that the right word here? Potentially even porting the game to other consoles, but I mean, they're gonna. We know that they're gonna. There's no way they're just gonna leave them off of Xbox and PlayStation, right? We know they're going to do it, but we just don't really know the timeline for it. I think it's safe to say, you know? So, as to when that'll be, I mean, I would like to think that they're going to expedite that, and we're going to get them on the other consoles sooner than a full year later, but I guess we'll just have to see, because I just don't really know. I just don't really know. So what's planned for my channel? Well, this is where I could use your help, you know? Are there particular videos that y'all would like to see prior to version 1.0 of the game? I got plenty of ideas for after 1.0, you know? And yeah, that includes many, many potential guides here, but I guess I could use your help in brainstorming things that you might want to see before 1.0 even comes, you know? Things that will hopefully, you know, stay current after 1.0 drops as well, you know? We can definitely expect many balance changes when that happens. We just gotta kind of hope it's not too many, I suppose, right? Oh god, I don't know if that's really gonna be worth it. No cast, no cast, no cast. What? Oh. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely some of the basic stuffs out there, right? Like best. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other creators and how they handle this situation, and maybe I'm kind of bothering you too much here, but you're stuck watching this video, I suppose.
Hello, Hellyfish.
Take the damage. Take the damage. The Hellyfish.
On my authority.
You know, best things to know as a beginner, what you need to know before playing. I'm kind of the mind that for most games, the whole, like, do you need to know something before playing? The answer is probably no. You know, but nevertheless, maybe I can come up with something, and if you got ideas of what to cover there, I guess I'd be willing to know. But yeah, like, tips for beginners as you're setting out would probably be nice. But if you got... My best idea there is to kind of just say a few things that would be nice to kind of prioritize and to take in terms of boons, in terms of Arcana stuff, in terms of maybe weapons and aspect, although that one might be a bit tougher, I gotta admit, around what exactly would work best. It's just so hard to say so often what's best for a beginner, you know what I mean? As someone who's played the game for 900 hours now or whatever it is.
Princess. Always depends.
So that's vaguely what I have planned. I guess I'm gonna accept that.
Then it's settled.
Boink. That's sort of what I vaguely got planned. But yeah, if you got other ideas for videos or something that you'd like to see around the game, tier list, guides, whatever you got, let me know. Let me know. Another big thing people ask about is, do we think there will be DLCs or updates after 1.0 of the game? And to put it bluntly, I personally do not really think so. That, I mean, I've been wrong about things in the past many, many times. Sometimes more wrong than right, you might even say. I guess all we have is the history, right? And while we've already seen some instances very recently of Supergiant doing things differently for Hades 2 than in other games, it would be interesting if they decide to do DLC and updates for the game. So Hades 1 received no DLC. It received no content updates either after 1.0. The only thing that happened in Hades 1 after 1.0, I think like a month, within like a month, they did a balance patch and it nerfed a couple things mostly. Then a couple another months went by and they did some bug fixes. And those bug fixes kind of equated to some small buffs here and there. That was it. Nothing else after that. Absolutely nothing. Again, well, I mean, there was, again, extremely minor, like, bug and hardware fixes for the game to try to make sure it was more stable and things of that nature, but that was it. Nothing else was going on there. So,
All this sorrow.
I think we know why that happened for a few reasons. Number one, apparently they were already planning to work on a sequel probably within a few months of launching Hades 1, right?
Show me the way.
I think it's safe to say. But also, number two, maybe they just decided that it was for the best to kind of leave the game as is and not perpetually update it forever, you know? So it's quite reasonable, I would argue. So that might be happening with Hades 2 here. You know, there's definitely things that definitely slot in as a potential update or DLC for the game. I personally wouldn't be upset if they just wanted to move on to the next project sooner, though. They are still a rather small studio. They did not really expand very much from Hades 1 to Hades 2, interestingly, despite this game being absolutely massive. You know, it's just a huge game, really, right?
Think
So, I don't know, just sort of an interesting thought there, I
can
suppose.
finally go. All you lot against me.
So it's not a matter of, like, I'm hoping that they don't give us DLC or updates. It's more so like, I don't know, I just really love their game, so if they just want to move on to another game, I'll be super happy for that as well. Or Static Shock, huh? Give me Static Shock. Thank you, finally. You might even want Storm Ring there, I don't know. May have wanted Storm Ring.
It must be something I can do.
Bunazus?
Take care now. Take care.
Now I'll take air quality?
A rush of air.
Okay, we got a few things over here. I mean, that's pretty much what I got, but if you got questions, let me know, and I'll try to think of other things as we play along here. There's our fig leaf. Beautiful. Finally, I get to palm the special there.
Flourish and reveal my path.
I don't think I got any hammers. I had to turn one down earlier. I know that much. I guess I've had some people ask me, you know, what do I hope to see for 1.0, or what am I hoping for the end all be all for Hades 2? You know, what do I want to have happen? It's like, and I kind of have the same. I've had the same mindset this whole time, probably even before Hades 2 came out, and it was just I just want to be surprised, you know, whatever it might be. It doesn't mean it has to have like a huge plot twist or anything like that to keep me interested either. It just means, you know, I kind of don't want the expected to happen. I don't want to constantly just be like, oh yeah, that makes sense, you know. I guess that's the only way I can describe it. You know, so if I sit here and predict like a dozen different things that I'd like to see happen, it's like, you know, those things would be nice, but it's not as important as just kind of, you know, allowing myself to enjoy the ride, I guess is how I would describe it. I guess in a much broader sense, though, I would love ways to keep enjoying Hades 2, you know, for many years to come. So if they can somehow provide that with Hades 2, oh my god, you were so far away. If they can somehow make that happen with Hades 2, and it's definitely not easy, then obviously that would be for the best. So a way for me to enjoy the game, a way for you to enjoy the game, indeterminably. And as much as I love Hades 1, it never quite got there, you know. I played the game a lot, and, you know, I found a lot of different ways to play it, and sometimes you had to work really hard to find new ways and different ways to play it, as can be seen with, like, the blindfolded run and stuff. And that stuff is really, really fun. But unfortunately, it does wane eventually, as to when you kind of run out of that, I guess. You know, that you kind of run out of those ideas eventually, unfortunately. Now, this is where potentially something like the modding community could step in and kind of provide a lot more. And that definitely helped a lot in Hades 1. But Hades 1 was notoriously difficult to create big, healthy mods for. It was very, very difficult. Kind of, I'm not great at explaining why, to be honest. But I think it mostly has to do with how they implemented the art of the game. You know, Hades 1 is kind of technically a 2D game with pre-rendered animations and stuff like that, and it's just very hard to make those, I guess, yourself is the best way I can describe it. I should probably just shut up about it now, because I feel like I really don't know what I'm talking about. But it was difficult, it's the bottom line, you know, and we had some really great mods out there, and they still exist, of course. But yeah, there's definitely some very good ones. And they definitely help sustain the game's shelf life, I guess you could say, for someone like myself. But you kind of always knew that there was going to come a time, you know, it's just like, I don't know if I can think of anything else to do if I boot up Hades 1 today, you know what I mean? So I'm just kind of hoping that they somehow find a way to kind of change that for Hades 2. It's a lot to ask, though, you know? Even if it is a roguelike. Even if it is, it's not easy to kind of create that formula. Whoa. We're moving on. We're moving up.
Ooh.
So what else? Okay, I know I kind of dodged this question. I didn't really say what I wanted that much. A lot of people are asking about what's going on with Zagreus, and I think it is for the best that this is going to be a huge surprise. But I think it's safe to say Zagreus is going to appear in this game in a broader capacity than we've already seen him, and it's going to be a big deal. I don't really know what that's going to mean, though, of course, but I assume it's going to be a big deal, you know?
In the name of Hades.
However he appears, whenever he appears,
Let's see how
I
this
suspect
goes.
it's going to be very nice. Paid dues, huh? It's an interesting one, I guess.
One
With
way in.
$329. All right, let's finish off Chronos here and call it a day, but I'm super excited.
Refreshing.
I am super excited. I've cleared my schedule. Make sure you join in for the streams when the game comes out and everything too, right?
You shall find my
We're going to have some long streams. I'm going to have lots of videos planned. I'd love to hear what you'd like to see, what you think you need, what you think the community needs, etc.
on my subjects.
Whoa. We got White Antler on here, so I kind of got to focus a little bit, probably. Okay, let's see if we can do the skippy skip. I think I have the levers on still, too, here, so we should be good.
Why do you not stop?
Oh, wait, I got another frequently asked question. I just remembered. Am I going to be starting a new save file for version 1.0? And the answer is not right away, but almost certainly eventually. Not right away, but almost certainly eventually we'll try it out and just see what the game's like from a beginner's experience, you know? Maybe that's actually not a bad thing to do leading up to 1.0 even. I don't know. You kind of want to see it all, the story at once if possible, you know what I mean? Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I was slightly informative, even if I was incredibly distracted for this entire run. If you got questions, make sure you let me know. I am super excited, like I've already said a few times here. I'm buzzing out here. I'm buzzing. But yeah, I hope to see you there. Like, comment, subscribe. You know what's going on. And I shall see you in another video.